Look what's just turned up from Japan. This is the rarest S15 kit in existence and number 3 ever made and the first ever in Europe. It's gonna be an exciting day because we're fitting it to one of our cars. If you guys know me, you'll know that I love a Nissan Silvia. They're my favorite car in the whole world. I've owned over 30, and at the moment, I own an S13, a 14, and a 15. And this summer, I'm gonna finish all 3 in a completely unique way. And that means I've gotta take some chances, do them a little differently than other people have done them in the past, and well, let's talk about it. Starting off with my Nissan S13. This is a very, very special car. It was a 7-year restoration by JDM Garage in the UK, and while it looks pretty stock on the outside, underneath it is far from that. This car is very, very special. It's probably the cleanest and nicest car I've ever owned. Every nut and bolt has been replaced, and as you can see, it's running a full Dave Yandel DY engine services, built SR. This is a stroked engine with about 600 horsepower, and would you believe actually the paint on this car is all original. Now inside, perfect interior. It even has a boot interior, has a bride seat, Nardi, and everything else is pretty stock. Now, I could leave it like this, but you know me, I want to do something special. And this is a build that's going to happen in a couple of weeks with a body kit that I think all of you are going to know what it is, but the story of how I got it, considering they're discontinued, is a very long and strange one, which includes trips to the Southern Hemisphere, but we'll get to that in a future episode. So the 13 will be getting a big transformation, but not in this episode. And next up is my Nissan S14. Now this car has a very sentimental value to me because it was the car I bought at Power Vehicles in Japan and drifted the Ebisu Matsuri in, then shipped it home. It managed to stay in a container just 2 days before the fire, so it survived. We've also brought it to car shows, and I've brought it to drift games bashes and driven it on the road. It pretty much does absolutely everything. On the outside, it is quite modified. It's got a full D-Max kit, BN Sports wide body. It's got a kooky rear spoiler, upgraded the lights front and rear, Ganador mirrors, beautiful white paint job, which is actually the original color, and some strong DS F45s with some BC Racing coilovers. Underneath, not so fancy. It's an S15 turbo, some cams, and a chipped ECU, so we want to upgrade that a little bit. Inside is probably the most I've modified this car since I got it. It has got 2 bride recliners in there because the bucket seats that were in there weren't that comfortable for the road, and I actually retrofitted the whole interior back into this car with allowing for a half cage in there as well. So there is some things out there a little bit tatty that we will look at in the next couple of weeks. Like, I think it had Lambo doors at one point, so they have weird wiring going on. Some of this stuff has kind of perished a little bit. But all in all, it's a pretty good car. Needs a tidy, but we will be doing something dramatic with this as well. But not in this episode. So we're gonna have to wait for the 14 and the 13 to be done, but today the waiting is over for the S15. I've waited 4 months for this body kit, and I'm so excited to take it out of the box and see how it looks on the car. So we gotta head over to our newly refreshed shed. Craig's over there with the car now. We're gonna assess what we need to do, and this is gonna be a busy few days.
This is my original EV1 yellow S15 NA non-turbo SR20 DE. So it looks good, but it's a little slow. And to be honest, it's a little bit boring for my liking. We did a good job making it look good for the street, but it's definitely not wild enough for my taste. And that's all about to change.
So the kit we're going to put on this today, or hopefully test fit today, is something that we've never seen on a car in person. We've only seen a couple of images online. And we also need to remove the rear arches or cut them to make sure that we can get the over fenders on there. And what we need for that is a man that is not a purist, a man that has no problem chopping into any car, whether it's a Lamborghini or an S15. He shows no mercy. It is Craig Coleman. Craig, always ready.
I'm ready.
Always ready. He has no sympathy. It could be a one of one. And he's like, Mark. So Craig's down here to do the back end of the car. Josh and I are going to open up the box and see what the kit kind of test fits like. Hopefully it's a good fit. And a big shout out to our friend Andy, who is First Choice in Japan, an Irish guy who basically ships us over everything from Japan. If you guys need anything, it's nice to talk to someone who speaks English. who's also from Galway, so he's a bit of crack as well. And although this must be for James Bond, is it? The Bond kit?
It's the Bond edition.
It's the Bond edition.
James Bond.
So this kit I waited for 4 months. I was number 3 on the list to get, and it's from Car Modify Wonder. The kit that we saw at the Tokyo Auto Salon on Noriaro's car. Some of you guessed that correctly in a previous video, but we've only ever seen it on one car. It's only ever been on a red car. So this might be car number 2 that anyone will ever see this kit fitted to, which is very exciting. This is like Christmas for adults. I think if you're a car guy, you have to fake so much enthusiasm on Christmas Day and go, socks, love it. Brilliant. And then really, this is Christmas. Every time a kid comes in from Japan, we're like, you wouldn't get it under a tree now, Craig, would you?
That's how you put the tree on it.
You can put the tree on it. You know what? There's our Christmas idea. We'll put 2 body kits and a tree on top of it. So we're going to open this up and see what's in it. Big Craig's going to be having a look at. So this is a rear quarter panel. As you can see, that is an aggressive rear quarter panel. Look at that. Look at that vent. It's going to be wild. We got the spoiler.
It's like a spoiler on a spoiler.
We heard you like the cookie spoiler, so we put a cookie spoiler on top of your cookie spoiler, giving you a double layered cookie spoiler. That's cool, right? Look, that vent is savage.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Interesting how it's black mesh there, but silver mesh there. We shall rectify that. A little box. I wonder what's in the box.
They don't let you with knives because you usually cut yourself with knives.
Dude. I'm like a small child running with scissors when we get to this part, so I'm just gonna take it easy. So we have, what is this? Ooh. Just so everyone knows, it's an official, like a retirement present. So we have.
That's the most official badge for a kit, I think.
What is this? It's like a key box.
Oh my god! Hang on a second.
That's the filler cap.
That's a filler cap, but it's got a lock on it.
But it's got a key on it. Jeez, the boy's thought of everything. You ever seen anything like that before, Craig?
And a butt hinge on it as well.
Yes,
Lovely.
It's got a hinge. You got some official badges and stickers. So we have all the bits. Big old bumper. It's aggressive, isn't it? Look at that. Look at the aggression on that rear bumper.
I think this is close to like a modern day max power kit now.
Why would you say that? But you're not far wrong. So it's a very aggressive kit. There's no denying that. Everything is very time attack flared. But for the moment, Craig, I guess, has to take the rear fenders, mock them up to the car, see where he needs to cut, while we start disassembling and maybe try and trial fit some of the other stuff like the bonnet, the front bumper and the wings maybe. Would that seem normal, Josh? That would be a good way of doing it.
It would, but we're not very good at stuff.
But we're going to give it a go. Remember that time I wasn't good at drifting and then I went to Drift Masters and I also was like slightly better than not good? We're going to do this slightly better than not good.
Slightly better
than not good. Craig will do the good bit because that's the bit we can't go back from. So Craig will do that. The bit we can go back from, well, Joey can fix anything we break here. So big kit. Let's hope we can try and trial fit it. Let's maybe you and I start at the front. So we stay away from Craig at the back and Craig works on the arches and then we'll get a little bit of an idea what shape she's taken.
Because stay in the same colour and we don't really want to paint the roof. We're going to protect it up a little bit the best we can, I suppose, and try and not do any damage to any other things before we attack these articles around.
So this fender looks a little bit different than other ones that we would get for drift cars, for say like the S14. It actually sits with bolts lined up on the inside of the boot lid. It actually looks like it sits in behind the tail light, and then on this side, I've never seen this on an S15 kit, where it actually goes in over the door. So it's almost flush, Craig, because you could actually attach it here, right? More of a show car than a drift car, which might be quite cool. Didn't expect it, but you know, the boys thought of everything a Car Modify Wonder.
You broke the first rule of kitting a car.
Technically I didn't. Because you're probably going to say, oh, you've read the instructions. But how can I read this? It's all in Japanese. So it makes no, I didn't read them, I looked at the pictures, like a normal man. Didn't help me at all.
Is this where you find out how good or bad it is?
So basically, yeah, we have 2 metal fenders. Usually with a drift car, you just throw it all on, everything's fiberglass. But because we have 2 metal fenders, we're going to try and get the bonnet aligned first. That way, when we put on the 2 fenders, we know we're working off the original lines, as opposed to if the bonnet was off and the wings were off, we're all kind of smushing it one way. Actually, looks really good. Like fiberglass is never going to be steel, but it's not bad.
I think this is giving hope for the rest.
This is spot on. It's the difference between buying an original, like say body part or fiberglass part from a company and buying a copy of a copy of a copy. So as time goes on, the more it's copied and redone, sometimes you can lose a little bit of shape. It's not terrible, but if you're buying it straight from the manufacturer, it's going from the original mold, which means that you're probably not going to get too many imperfections. I'm looking at the fit of this bonnet right now.
Well, this is the third out of the production line, so this is
like early on in the production line, so it's the third kit. So you'd imagine the mold is in pretty good shape at the moment, so could be benefiting from that. It looks really cool, doesn't it? It's a cool bonnet.
I think that's a bit of Dave's handiwork there.
That took me ages. Referencing Alexi's car there.
Don't want to jinx it, but could this just be a very good kit?
Well, here's a little trick for you. If you buy a very original kit, it's more expensive, but it's easier to fit and you have less time in the body shop. Whereas you buy a very poor fitting kit, it's cheap, but then you have to spend all that money anyway on someone making it look half decent. So sometimes you can just save yourself time and energy, and this is a lot more time saving to get a kit that fits properly from the start than it's sitting for weeks in the body shop getting sanded down. So, little Dave top tip for you there. Would you agree, Craig?
I would agree.
He would agree. I've made him do both.
Okay, so we found a pretty big problem with the kit. So all the holes are pre-drilled, obviously, in the right place. I did.
Oh, Josh.
They're out the in. And yeah, one of them wasn't pre-drilled.
This is a joke.
Mr. Japanese man, done everything perfect with the kit so far. That one hole's just let him down. But yeah, only joking. If one hole undrilled is the worst thing that we come across on this kit, that is absolutely phenomenal. Right, now on to Craig's favourite thing. Screwing.
Screwing. I'll go back now, Josh.
She's in. Ooh.
Nailed it.
That's how you get the rest of the screws in. On one side done. Okay, so everything pretty perfectly, with very minor adjustments. And now we're on to the last piece. What do you think, Craig?
Ask for disaster here, that's it.
So usually when everything else goes so smoothly, the last thing is the problem. And this bumper is the last thing. Right, I'll put the camera down and help now. Mr. Modify Wonder Guy. He has, you know what, Craig, round of applause, I'll say. He has absolutely outdone himself. The rear bumper was probably the best fit of the whole kit, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's impressed. Show them, Brack.
So the bumper obviously extends out, and if you can see, he's made a bracket that bolts to the original place onto the bumper. Solid as a rock. Like, I think you have to say this is literally zero fiddling around with it. This is bolted on with the original bolt holes, and I would honestly say this is 95% better than most kits after hours and days of messing around with it.
Yeah.
Lights straight in. And also to remember, there's no bolt holes around. It's literally in the door and in the boot lid. Very impressive stuff. What's next now? Just
Try and
admire
get
it.
the spoiler off.
I'll try and get the spoiler. So Wayne put the spoiler on. And if my memory's correct, we made a joke about how much Tech 7 he put on this. This one's really come back to bite us now.
Oh, Wayne.
Any guesses to what the percentage of this coming off in one piece is? I reckon it. You know, have you got the grinder there to grind it off?
I'd say we have 6 pieces.
Well, let's see.
On there.
Sometimes when you're worried when you stick these things on with Tech 7 that they're going to come off on the motorway, not a hope. Not a hope. Okay, so as you saw from the GoPro, it's off, but there's been a concert. consequence. Well, didn't come off in one piece because there's a lot of swedge on there now. Looks well though. Can you just remove some of the black stuff from underneath?
Yeah, do it there now, Josh. Just give me half a day.
Okay, I know we said it was all going so well and there's no downside to this. Well, I think we found a downside because there is a fuel cap that looks like, I don't know, a gas locker or something like that, with what looks like a door hinge, which doesn't look that good. So, I think we're going to try and somehow put the original one on there, but we don't know how. Craig's lost interest.
This is Josh's baby. This is all him.
This is what he does sometimes when he can't be bothered because he knows it's a lot of finicking around and he tries to make it seem like it's a good thing if I do it.
Actually, Josh, I was trying to get my opinion there, and you said, I think I'm ready to, this could be my baby. So I'm walking away from it.
I think I did say that. I regret saying that, but I think I did say it. So here I am working on the fuel cap, and you may notice it's going on backwards. And the only reason I'm doing this is for some reason it fits best that way. I guess the S15 fuel cap isn't symmetrical, and for whatever way the kit was made, this is just the way that it looks best. Now everyone's standing around having their 2 pence on the situation, but realistically, I'm not listening to anybody, and I'm just doing my own thing. Craig now, I know. This is my baby.
This is your baby, Josh. I'm waiting to see how this your baby works.
Well, you don't need to wait. I mean, she's ready. She's ready for you.
Oh. Oh, Josh, well, flaw already. It opens the wrong way. The wind's gonna catch it and it's gonna blow it open.
See, I told you this. It's not fully done yet. There's gonna be a magnet, so it's gonna be fine.
Very nice, Josh. Josh, see this? It's your baby.
It's my baby. It does everything that a fuel cap should do. It opens and closes.
What about getting a little wooden knob for it?
I was thinking like a cupboard door handle, like a grabber.
Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
Probably be. You know what this is? You know a key lock box? That's the door of it.
We could probably make a new key lock box with this door.
I was lucky you gave 2 keys, so.
Because you're gonna. Gosh.
We're committed to mine, so it's fine. She's only mint.
Nice job, lad.
So progress is being made. Obviously the EV1, a very rare color. The last thing you want to do is just drilling straight through it already. That's the sound of purists crying. Anyway, front is now assembled. I think it looks absolutely unreal. Side skirts are on. We haven't cut out the rear arches yet, but we're just test fitting. And then Craig's going to put on the spoiler and the back bumper, so at least we know the whole kit fits before we move any further, because if it doesn't, we're kind of too far down the rabbit hole and then we get another kit from Japan, but that doesn't look like it's going to be the case. So I think it's starting to look very, very aggressive. Obviously this is early doors, but while Craig is doing that, I want to talk to you guys about our 2025 team wear. So we have a jersey, we have a t-shirt, and we have a hoodie. And for the first 200 orders, we're giving some free stickers, a free bag, a free poster, a bunch of stuff. It also, sorry, it's the purists again. Sorry, just keep, I can hear them. So we are basically giving to the first 200 people that special gift pack if you grab the hoodie and jersey, or the t-shirt and hoodie. And well, I suppose I don't have one on me, but if I was to create a visual for you guys of what the jersey looks like, I think it looks absolutely sick. But just got it. Hold on. There it is. The 2025 jersey. We have got the Dave version and the Connor version. And hold on. There we go. So if you want to grab them, we got limited quantity, limited stock, and all of your purchases goes towards the channel, but also the Drift Masters program this year. So we really appreciate it. God, that takes it out of you. No more holograms, Josh. We just do straight up ads from now on. I'm wearing it the next time. That is, whew, I feel like Ryu in Street Fighter, just throwing it out there. Anyway, back to the car. It's a bit mad. It looks great. It looks like, do you know what it reminds me of? Like kind of the modern D1 GP cars. They always have that kind of look to them. very pumped out vents, flary. It's mad. I love this vent here, like right here, and then the kind of built-in diffuser. Like we were thinking it needed a lip kit underneath, but then they're kind of going, it kind of has all the lip kit stuff on it, like, so. I kind of just wish we could go paint it.
Wait, that's the transition. Just do a click.
Paint it.
No, it doesn't work.
Nah, it's weeks away, isn't it?
I think it's crazy how many
The spoiler's class.
how many vents it actually has. Like, I mean, it's completely not like for aerodynamics or anything. But it's almost like it goes through there, then it goes through this vent out there, and
Oh, like, what I'm thinking now is, like, because it's NA, like the amount of speed you'd be pulling, do you know what I mean, with that 170 horsepower, you'd just need it, or else you'd just be thrown off the road. Like, it's the downforce. I'd say it'll do wheelies. There's that much downforce in it. To be honest, it's a very, very cool kit. Like, I had my first S15 about very long time ago, when they were fresh enough. And it's mad that, 20 years later maybe, they are now still making new kits for these. So, not many, but that's why, like, I've had so many S15s. Other people might like different kits, but for me to make a car that looks new to me as a Silvia in 2025, that's awesome. So, hats off, Car Modify Wonder. I will wonder what it would look like all painted.
When you're grinding on a car, the sparks can damage the original paint, and because we're staying original color, we're trying to protect it as much as we can.
gloves and glasses, Craig.
Gloves and glasses, just change my.
PPE is for once on point. Literally zero remorse.
Now, Craig has done a ton of these wide body conversions before, but he always makes sure that the first cut is the right one, because if you cut too much, you can't go back. That's why he'll always edge a little bit further as he goes. And before you get to the welding stage, make sure you take out the rear interior, because you know, it can often go on fire.
There you go, buddy. And that is the type of stuff that will go on fire if you don't do this.
Now, there are quick and easy ways to do this. You can always hammer it up or cut pieces out, but Craig does it the correct way, which means he puts in new steel, grinds it all down, seals it up, makes sure that it's actually like factory and sealed against all weather, avoiding rust down the road.
So let's get this straight. Gloves, safety glasses, and now you're not using safety squints?
I've learnt my lesson, Josh, too many times.
Now, 90s Silvia sheet metal is very, very thin and weak, so if your welder is set too high in temperature, you can also burn holes through the car. So Craig sets it down real low and does a nice bead first before he eventually seals it all in. This is the correct way to do it without causing any imperfections in the actual factory steel.
So Craig has finished up with the arches, and this is an exciting part because I haven't seen the car completed since Craig finished it. And now we're going to roll it in, and we've got to put the wheels on it. So obviously the wheels are going to look terrible right now, but we're going to get my first impression of the kit. It's very wild, like it's out there, but the car's just been unloaded on the trailer. So once she rolls in here, finally get some wheels on it and actually get a bit of a vision of what it's going to look like when we put paint on it. Here we go. That is a wild kit. God, it's mental looking, isn't it? It's like I said earlier, probably in the video, that it's hard to be excited about S15s when you've been modified. I think the first S15 I ever owned was 15 years ago. So to see a new look on an S15 is just wild. But the wheels look gack.
You can't tell from this angle.
But isn't it amazing to think that, like, this was perfect stance flush fitment on the standard body? Like, that was perfect fitment, like even rub and tire a little bit. And this is how wide the kit's made it. So
I'll say there is.
we have a solution. We have a solution, Josh. And the solution's over here. So I know what you're thinking. We're going to put some Strom DSO5s on this car. And the first thing everyone's going to go, oh no, why wouldn't you put some real JDM wheels on the car? You got to put some works on it, bro. And I get all that, right? Nothing wrong with Work or SSO or any of those wheel companies. But this is my car, one I'm building for myself. And this wheel has a lot of sentimental value for a number of reasons. One, it is a collaboration wheel between Drift Games and Strom, which we designed, which is like somewhere between like a Blitz 03, AC Schnitzer, that kind of old school style, super deep dish, which is going to work really well on this car. And also, they're an Irish company, so we're supporting our own. And even more importantly than those two factors is that we run these on our drift cars, we run them on everything because they support us. And there's very few wheel companies, including all your JDM friends, that actually care about drifting in Europe or care about anybody. Strom have supported James Dean, Connor Shanahan, Dwayne McKeever, Jack Shanahan, half the Driftmasters grid I mean, they're an Irish company supporting drifting right now, not in the 90s and 2000s. A lot of those JDM companies don't really care that much about what we're doing, and I've also said that this company has really got behind the whole European drift scene. And the last thing you guys are going to say is, oh, they're not JDM wheels, so there's no quality. You want to talk about quality? I want to show you quality. In 4 hours, we head off for Finland for round 2 or 3, whatever way you want to put it, of Drift Masters. And last year at Finland, this is Connor Falvey's wheel, which is a DSO5. This hit the wall, removed the entire outer rim. As you can see, this is not connected all the way from here all the way to here, and he still managed to qualify with a 90 run because this held air. And you know what, that was a year ago and it's still holding air. So this wheel has held air from Finland to Finland for a year after losing the entire outer rim. So don't talk to me about quality. Strom got quality. So we will need some spacers to make the fitment right on the car. And then people are going to go, well, why do you need spacers? Why don't you just get bigger wheels? There's a reason for it as well. And the reason is simple. Because we're going to put an engine conversion in this car, and I'm going to put probably a wise valve on it, and I'm going to do some skids in it. And if I have a 12J or 13J wheel on the back, I'm going to need like a 325 tire, and I want to run the Accelera 651 from Tire Streets on this car because it's a really good lasting tire for like practice days and drift bashes and stuff like that. So we have to use spacers because anything wider than a 10.5 will mean a wider tire, and that is not going to do well with shafts and diffs and stuff like that. So the idea is to keep the wheels pumped out in terms of stance, put a big tire on there. The Accelera looks great as well, so it looks like a race car rather than a stance car, and then do some skids. So this is why we're thinking ahead of not putting a majorly huge wheel like we did on the R33, because that car is a show car on air. This is not going to be that. So we got some spacers. We calculated, roughly, guesstimated, you never quite know, but we need some 50 mils all round for those wheels. So our friend Dean Martin in MK Tires hooked us up with some very nice ones, and I like these because they're black and you don't, kind of hides the spacer a bit, like not as bad as a massive silver one. So there you go, we're going to put these on all 4 corners, then put the wheels on, and our guesstimation is that it'll be absolutely spot on, which has never happened before, but today might be the day because we've got very little time. We've got a flight in 4 hours, so we need to see what this car looks like. So hopefully it all just works out.
And if they're not spot on, you've ordered some backups, have you?
But I'm not going to say that I'm not going to say that I might have got some options. You know, I got a couple of 20s here. We got a few 5 mil slip-ons. So, you know, if we want to dial it in, we can dial it in, but that's for future use. We got this perfect. We did the measurement, so it should be fine, right? All right, Josh, we're ambitious here. We're pretty ambitious. Come on, camber. Come on. It's doing a bit. Oh.
Is that on the arch?
Yeah, it's on the arch. You can trim it though. I think if you trimmed it, it'd be okay. But the fitment is spectacular. We just need to trim the inner arch a little bit. It doesn't move, but it looks
I was going to say it's not rolling.
we just need a little grinder for that. That won't be too bad.
That's fine. I reckon, you know what, if you grind it, I reckon you could kick out a little bit more or take some of the camber out. I reckon a 5 mil grinder.
5 mil with a grinder and she's A1. All right, so we have it on the wheels, and I think the car, I hope you guys agree, looks absolutely unbelievable. Now it is two-tone, we have a lot of things to do. One of those things is this little bit here, we're going to need to either shave or massage and paint black because it's actually hitting the wheel. We also need to do alignment, we need to do the paint, obviously. We need to adjust it on the BC Racing coilovers, and then we need to send it to paint, where I think it's not going to be too big a job because we're keeping it the original yellow. We want to, obviously the car is an original EV1 yellow, so we want to keep it that color, and without having to take the glass out of it, it shouldn't be the biggest job. And then once we have it all aesthetically done, we're going to dig into an engine conversion at that point because we can still bring it to a show in the meantime Hopefully we'll get it on display at Drift Masters in Ireland, and then we might do the engine conversion after that because it's a little bit of a slower process. Have a little thing in the comments of what engine we should put in it. I mean, the obvious answer is put a SR20 fancy one in there to make it a proper spec R, but we could be more creative. I'm pretty sure everyone in the comments is going to say 9-rotor K67 14, a rotary onto a K series twisted together with 4 shafts, but something realistic. Do we go 1J? Do we go, you know, we've got options. Do we put an LS in there? It'd be weird in Ireland to do that. It wouldn't be weird in the US, so you let me know. So that is going to be the project we're digging into after we come back from Finland, because in 2 hours we are on a plane to Finland for round 3, I think, of Drift Masters. The first round was cancelled. It's a scary one. The weather looks sketch. I'm nervous. It's going to be a big weekend for the team, hoping we can build on the success of the last round. Also, right now on the shop, the driftgames.life shop online, we have up to 80% off on a sale. We are getting rid of some old stock. It is the cheapest you'll ever get it, I think. And we also have our new team gear, which is also available right now and flying out the door. So thank you guys for all of your support. And if you want to listen to more waffling from us, the podcast is coming out. We're doing bi-weekly, but we might do one weekly. We're just kind of doing it wherever we can, but it's actually trended into the top 30 in Ireland, which is amazing. Thank you guys for the support. So it's all firing at the moment. Everything's going crazy. So next time you see me, we'll be in Finland. We're flying there. We're actually going to go see a very cool garage on the way, a little bit of a bonus episode, so hopefully get that shot now for you later in the week. And then I'm in the race suit, then it's Drift Masters, so it's all go. Thank you for your support, we appreciate it, we'll see you in the next one.